Have you ever wondered what classes and objects are in programming? Well, you're not alone. Let's break it down. Picture a class as a blueprint. It's a detailed plan that guides you in constructing something. Now, imagine an object as a building made from that blueprint. It's the tangible result of following the plan. Or let's think about it like baking a cake. The class is your recipe, detailing the ingredients and steps necessary to create a cake. The object then is the actual cake you bake using that recipe. It's a real-world representation of the recipe. So, in the world of programming, a class is a blueprint or a recipe, and an object is the building or the cake. Now that we know what a class and an object is, let's dive into why they are so beneficial. So why do we use classes and objects in programming? Well, the answer is simple. Classes and objects serve as powerful tools that help make our coding lives easier and more efficient. Think of your code as a large, bustling city. Without a proper organization system, it can quickly become chaotic and difficult to navigate. This is where classes and objects come into play. They act like the city's infrastructure, organizing the code into manageable, distinct sections. Much like a well-planned city, has different areas for residential, commercial, and industrial purposes. But the benefits don't stop at organization. Classes and objects also promote the principle of reusability. Just like a blueprint can be used to construct multiple buildings, a class can be used to create multiple objects. This means you can write the code once and use it over and over again, saving you time and effort. Maintenance is another key benefit. With classes and objects, updating your code becomes a breeze. Instead of searching through thousands of lines of code for a specific function or variable, you can simply make the changes in the class, and all objects derived from that class will be updated automatically. Just as a well-organized toolbox makes it easier to find and use the right tool for the job, classes and objects make your code more organized, reusable, and easier to maintain. The benefits are clear, but when should you use a class and when should you use an object? When should you use a class and when should you use an object? That's a great question. Let's break it down. A class is like a blueprint for creating objects. You should use a class when you need a template for something. A class provides the structure and behavior that objects will have. It's like a recipe for a cake. The recipe or the class gives you the instructions to make many cakes. Let's say you're creating a video game with a variety of cars. You don't want to write code for each car separately. Instead, you create a car class. This class defines attributes like color, speed, and size that all cars will have, and methods like accelerate and brake that all cars can perform. Now, an object is an instance of a class. You use an object when you need a specific example of a class. Following our game example, each car in the game is an object. Each object or car has its own unique features defined by the car class. One car object might be a red sports car that goes really fast, while another might be a blue family car that goes a bit slower. So, in a nutshell, use a class when you need a template, and use an object when you need an instance of your class. Now you have a clear understanding of when to use a class and when to use an object. And that's a wrap on classes and objects. It's like learning a new language, isn't it? We've journeyed through the blueprint-like classes and the tangible objects akin to buildings made from those blueprints. Remember, classes are your recipe for a cake, and objects are the delicious cakes you bake using that recipe. We've seen how these concepts help keep our code organized, reusable, and easy to maintain, just like a well-ordered toolbox. And we've learned when to use a class as a blueprint and when to create an object as an instance of that class. Now it's your turn to put these insights into action. Don't just watch and move on, engage with the Coded Universe community. Leave a like if you found this video helpful, drop a comment sharing your thoughts or questions, and don't forget to subscribe for more programming wisdom coming your way. Until next time, happy coding!